Hi all, I am Jim McCann. I am Teachow, and this is Rktcr. It is a new game that I am working on, and I'm going to play through Demo 0 here. Demo 0 is the first time that you also get a chance to play Rktcr, so please play through yourself and provide me with some feedback. Email me, comment at Steam Greenlight, comment on this video, just give me some feedback. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the demo. The first thing we see is the title screen with the team select. If you have a couple of teams created, they'll appear here. When you first start up, you're going to need to create a new team. Now, the way that you name your team is going to determine how they look. I'm just going to use some random names here. These are random alternations of pipe and the L character, so you can't tell what I'm calling my team. So we're going to jump into it, and we start out with this intro cinematic about, well, you can look at it yourself. The first thing that it's going to ask you is if you want to play a tutorial. I recommend that you do that. So in Rktcr, you control a vehicle equipped to journey through time and space. Now, the space controls are what you're going to use with your right hand, and these are just some jets. You have the left arrow and the right arrow control this front wheel, and the back arrow, or the down arrow and the up arrow control your back wheel going forward and backward. I notice the car is a little bit finicky to drive, but that's okay. We're going to add some features that help you drive the car more effectively. First, there's this blue line, and it shows you what's going to happen in the future. And you can use this to plan jumps and plan for the future a little more effectively. Now, the next feature that's going to help you do this is time control. And in the tutorial, I enable this in 2 steps. So the first step is just speed control. So now I can press S to slow things down or to go even really slow. And this is great in combination with this blue line because it really helps me plan out the future in a lot of detail. Now the shift key will temporarily double the speed of time, the rate at which time is progressing. And that's nice when you have a plan that you like and you want to just kind of get to the end of it. And you see how I'm using this blue line and I'm sort of strobing through control inputs until I find a path I like and then I run on it. So now we have full time control, and that means that time is paused unless we tell it to not be paused. So basically what I get to do is decide what controls I want to input, and then I run time forward. That was good, but probably I wanted to switch my control input back here. Yeah, switch to maybe here, and so on. So let's actually get into the game. Now what I recommend new players do first is to play through some challenge files just to get that next level of skills over the tutorial that you'll need. And anywhere in the game, you can always press F2 to show keys, and particularly this will remind you that you can adjust the camera using the mouse so you can look around the level. In this level, we want to get our rocket car over to the gem. And I think that the solution is pretty straightforward. You just hold the up arrow key, and that drives your rocket car forward and into the gem. Of course, you'll notice that that time is 3:55, and the par time is 3:28, so I leave it to you to figure out how to do that faster. Now, the next level is maybe the first tricky level in the game, and it's called Jump, and the idea is that we want to get over the gem. So let's try that strategy again, where we just hold forward, and that's not working. We even have a nice cutscene about, you know, how great it is that you can rewind in Rktcr. And, well, it is great to rewind in Rktcr. So anyway, obviously on this jump, we need to do something differently. We need to hold down a control that is not just the forward arrow. So let me try a few different controls. If I hold the right arrow, that's just going to drive me down further. I hold the back arrow, that just slows me down. So let me hold the left arrow and the up arrow. Okay, that seems to be diverting my path upward, but I'm not diverted soon enough. So what I'll do is hold these controls down and inch time backward until it looks like the right time. So now, as you see, as I go further backward, it's changing my trajectory a little bit. So, okay, that wasn't quite right. I didn't quite make it. So let me inch backward a little further, get even a higher arc. So that's a nice arc. But now I'm going to start spinning if I don't do something else. So maybe I let off these controls, or even I hold the right arrow. Okay, now I've gone around backward, so let's not do that. So this seems good, and I can just continue and finish out the jump. So the next skill that we're really going to need to play this demo is hill climbing. And in Rktcr, you can try to climb hills with your front wheel forward like this, but it is really tricky. It's very hard to get up hills. You go very slowly. Hold down shift here. You eventually slip down. So instead what you want to do when you're climbing hills in Rktcr is to climb them backward. And this allows you to get your other thruster in on the hill climbing action. And it's a little bit tricky. You got to try to maintain a precise angle. I've been doing this for long enough. I can do it at real time. I used to do it at much slower than real time like this, so I could rewind as necessary. Use that feature to try to just look and maintain a good angle. Now I just do it in real time. Anyway, that's hill. And a final little thing that's going to come up in the game is these disruptible platforms. And disruptible platforms are platforms that only one of your wheels can collide with. So if we zoom in here, you can slow down time because I think it's a beautiful effect. You can see that the back wheel doesn't collide with that platform. All right, so let's get to it. So this is a very simple little puzzle designed around these disruptible platforms. The gem also has a disruptible covering on it here. Oh yeah, the sound gems make in slow motion is really sweet. So we'll just swim our little Rktcr down there. Okay, we'll go a bit faster than that. And grab this here gem. And again, just to show you the disruption effect. So the rear wheel here disrupts the coating around the gem, and you can pick it up. Now, there are a lot more of these basic ones, but I didn't want to give you too much in the demo. Okay, I also put in a few tricky and one impossible challenge. The impossibles are actually impossible, but give them a shot anyway. And dashed and swerve are a couple of middlingly challenging challenges. But let's ignore those for the moment and get on to the main course, the world. So the world in Rktcr is made up of levels, just like those little challenge files. But these levels are connected by portals. So it's a big world that you can navigate around in. And somewhere out in this world, there are 3 gems. And so your task is to find those 3 gems, collect them all, and get back to the start portal. That is this portal over here to the lab. There you go. So this world has a gem, so I'm just going to try to get play my way over to it here. Right now I'm trying to get up into this little gap. You get a cutscene with every gem. Alright, that's pretty well. I feel like I could have done that bit a little bit more efficiently. If I can just tap that gem, flip right back out. I'll exit through this portal here. Here's a new level, and let's see what we can do here. So let me take this opportunity to just show you a couple of other things that are really useful in the world especially. One is that if you hit backspace, you can rewind all the way to the portal. So if I go go this way and I say, no, I didn't want to go that way, I can rewind to the portal and try some sort of other dramatically different strategy. Whatever that strategy may be. Also, whenever you go back to the lab, your progress is saved. And that's exactly where you were. You also notice that you can recall the rocket car. This is useful because it gets rid of your current journey, allows you to restart totally fresh. But one thing to note is that if you've restarted fresh and you're at a portal, you can always look at the previous paths you've done from that portal. So we can replay these previous paths. And use them to navigate the world. Now this only works for completed paths, so that little partial path that I did before isn't stored. Finally, if you get lost and you just want to chicken out and have the game solve itself for you, you can turn on this path computer. Now, I really recommend sitting down with a piece of paper and making a map for yourself, but if you really need to, go for the paths computer. And that's going to basically map out the most efficient route that gets all of the gems from where you are, and it will tell you what you need to do to go on that route. So right now we need to go to that right star. Which seems tricky, but is possible. Now I'm kind of trying to figure out the most efficient bounce here. That seems good. And so that pretty much is the demo. The meat of the thing is actually going to be mapping out the world, finding all 3 of these gems, getting them back to the start portal. There's a couple little tricky bits you're going to notice along the way, I hope, but I'm not going to talk about them here. Thank you for taking the time to check this out and listen to me blather on. I hope you play Rktcr. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you leave me feedback through one of the many feedback channels you have available to you.